Hey everybody, I'm back after a 2 week absence. Last week I was a little bit on vacation. I had a bunch of stuff going on. I didn't get a chance to record. The world has continued to move into the insanity, and liberalism continues to be established as a mental disorder. Today I am drinking some Truly hard seltzer strawberry lemonade. I happen to love the Truly lemonades. They're sweet but not too sweet, very light carbonated. You could get yourself in trouble with them. Thankfully, they're only 100 calories because I'm trying to watch my physique. My doctor told me the other day at my physical that I'm fat. So there's that, morbidly obese. Speaking of morbidly obese, I see all these TikToks and all of these advertisements at how we should be accepting morbidly obese women as sexy and attractive and beautiful, not unhealthy. Where are the TikToks and stuff talking about men? Because when men are morbidly obese, they're just fat, disgusting, gross animals. That's just how it is. Talk about a double standard, man. Being a white, non-left-leaning obese man, you're at the bottom of the pile, man. Not below a woman, because nobody can tell me what a woman is anyway. So as I say, liberals continue to go crazy. This week I've been called a transphobe, a homophobe, a racist, anything you could possibly name. They shuffle out and play those cards all the time. The words really mean nothing. This week's transphobe comment was once again about Dylan Mulvaney. There's a picture of him in a long wig. I mean, listen, I gotta tell you something. His costume designer and makeup person, they must get paid a lot of money because they really make him look like a woman, But, you know the old saying, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig? Kind of works the same way here. So you could take Dylan. Now, if you overlook the anorexia, the frail body type, if you overlook the no breasts, if you overlook the Adam's apple the size of a tangerine, if you overlook the facial hair, if you overlook, what's the last thing? The penis! Yes, I guess he's a woman. But you could overlook all of that, and you know what? He's still a dude. He's still a dude. And that's what I was called a transphobe for. I have no irrational fears of transgender people. I'm just calling it like it is. And I was called a racist because what's going down in Florida with whatever new curriculum they're doing about blacks and slavery, I'm not sure I understand it because I didn't read it, and you know what? Nobody else read it yet, except the people who put it together, but they put these little snippets out, like the Don't Say Gay bill. Well, in the Don't Say Gay bill, you know what it doesn't say? It doesn't say Don't Say Gay. It has nothing to do with the bill. But they asked DeSantis, and he repeatedly said, I had no input, I wasn't there, please speak to the Department of Health. More questions, same thing, Department of Health. So they just kept pressing him and finally said, listen, I don't really know, but I would imagine maybe they would talk about things like, maybe it taught them professions like blacksmiths. But what I could tell you is that the program was done by scholars and it's based in factual information. But you really need to talk to the Department of Education. That's not good enough. Makes him a racist and he supports slavery and you're a racist and he defended it. Nobody defended it. Nobody's actually read it except the people in the room. But let's go on because it must be tough being a liberal, always being correct. Always being correct. You know what else going off the rails? Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart used to stand for something and he's becoming an angry troll who's losing the ability to listen. After there's no Daily Show, guy's worth $120 million, but yet he's telling the common folk how to live. He knows it all. Oh, rich folks, they're always just looking out for their best interests. At his $120 million. Really, give me a break. So apparently they caught the Gilgo Beach killer. It wasn't the person I thought it was. Me and my friends, we all had an idea. We were wrong. So they caught the Gilgo Beach killer, and it's in the newspaper. Whatever his name is, a registered Republican. Registered Republican? What does that have to do with him being a killer? Do you know what? Any of these trans people killing people, none of them, they don't even say trans people. None of them say a registered Democrat. I've never read a story about a killing where it said a registered Democrat, a registered Republican. But now, the media is not your friend. Media is not your friend. And speaking of the Gilgo Beach killer, Really? All his neighbors now? Oh, we all knew something was wrong. Something wasn't right. We were always very scared of him. You all knew now, right? Hindsight. You all knew something was off now. But what I find interesting is they found this guy based on a pizza crust they collected 3 years ago and some cell phones. Yet the White House can't pull any, the FBI there at the White House can't pull any fingerprints off a baggie full of Coke. You can find it off a pizza crust. You get that DNA. But a baggie full of Coke, that guy was very smart. Left no fingerprints behind, just a bag of Coke. I'm thinking he'd rather have the Coke than leave his fingerprints clean. I'm just saying, it's just bizarre to me. Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And get back to this trans. Howard Stern went out. Now, he's a big supporter of trans. People should live who they want. I respect trans people. And everyone says, well, look, Howard Stern's saying it. When did Howard Stern become the voice of reason? A once funny man who apparently sold out after Artie Lang stabbed himself about 150 times and lived to tell the tale. But Howard Stern is a man who used the term midgets, dwarf tossing, retards. He made fun and exploited every minority group you could possibly think about. Now he's changed his tune, and he's the voice for trans people. Don't kid yourself. He used trans people in 30 seconds to get better ratings. I don't know. He's the man now. He's the man now. Trans people. I mean, this guy has been using black people, trans people, people with mental disabilities for years. But now, the guy's a steward. He's fantastic. Fantastic. He does everything correctly. Oh, now, once again, we talked about California many times. California is losing credibility and has lost most of the credibility of the 50 states. It is now using race, starting to use race to determine sentencing after you commit a crime. Can you imagine a different chart based on a color wheel? If you're white, you get this. If you're a little less white, going all the way down to real dark. Depending upon where you fall on the wheel is the charge. I don't understand that. But even crazier, there's some legislation going on right now in California that black men in arrears of child support will have it all forgiven. All the child support they're behind forgiven. Why? Because they are unfairly and disproportionately burdened with child support. Child support, one child is 17.5%. If you're white, blue, purple, green, black, how are they disproportionately anything? How about you just pay your child support or stop getting women pregnant? I don't understand. Do we think of these kids so these kids are just not going to get anything? The mothers who still have to live in squalor? Are Democrats trying to continue to keep black people down? Because that's what it seems like. If you take the money away from a single family, a single mother family, black, white, or indifferent, just happens to be black, you take the money away and their ability to live, you're keeping them in poverty and keeping them down. Come on, folks. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on. It's ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as Snow White being played by a Latino. And you got it, Snow White. Snow White. White. And it comes from her skin was white as snow. Now, if you look at what Disney's doing here, they just want to bottom out to zero. They're remaking it. Snow White is a Latino strong woman. There is no Prince Charming. There are no seven dwarfs. This is not Snow White. This is a completely different story. What are you doing? There's no need to do this. Oh, wait. You have to pander to minorities. That's all you're doing. You have to show how woke you are. You're proving a point. Disney, the bottom line keeps going down for you guys. What are you doing, really? Then we have the queen of stupidity, AOC, has introduced legislation. And her legislation wants to create an app. And she wants to create an app so you can tip the government. Don't we call that taxes? I guess when you send in all our taxes to Ukraine, you need a little extra cash, AOC. But that wasn't the best. I said the queen is stupid, and then Kamala said, here, guys, hold my bong while I listen to some Tupac. She actually went out this. She said, transportation. It's really just the ability to get from one point to the other. Thanks, Captain Obvious. And then she went out and said, oh, AI. AI is very tricky. It's very smart stuff. AI. It's funny because AI, people, you need to realize it stands for artificial intelligence. Really, Kamala? Funny. I always thought it was artificial insemination. I mean, or are you an idiot? We're just getting rid of the U. We'll make it AUI because apparently you have no brain cells. And then you went about and said this. Her quote is, I would like to invest in a reduced population. That why you support abortion, Kamala? I mean, really? You want to reduce the population and you support that? How are you going to go about this? Shootings, gas chambers, mass arrests, let everybody die in jail? I don't understand. But you're the vice president. Everybody says you're doing a good job. What have you done? What have you done? I don't think you've done anything. I really don't think you've done anything. This is completely bizarre to me. Then we got this Larry Nassar in jail. He's the doctor who molested and sexually abused all those teen gymnasts. I have no sympathy for the man. I wish they would have let that father have his 3 minutes with him. No sympathy for the man, but he gets stabbed multiple times in general population. And the liberals, once again, out of their minds, how could this happen? He should be in isolation. Have some sympathy for the man. I'll tell you what, I have no sympathy for the man who sexually abused and molested dozens of young females who trusted him and had nowhere to go. You know what I say? Sew him up, throw him back on the yard. That's it. You get what you deserve. End of story. He earned every stabbing. I'm sorry about this, but I got a little problem with anybody who sexually molests or abuses children or women or anybody else. That's just me. I'm weird like that. Once again, somebody told me on Twitter the other day that, I seem to be very angry. Listen, it's in my name. Everybody knows me, knows I'm a little angry. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I'm going to give you a little advice today. I haven't had one for a little bit, but Susan in Setauket, she wrote to say she thinks that the 4th of July contest is a waste and a disgrace to our country. This should not be taking place on the 4th of July in honoring our country. Susan, I got an idea for you. Would you like to try Christmas? Thanksgiving? Easter? How about this? Here's my piece of advice. Maybe go get laid and have a drink. Hey, things will work out for you. You're taking things a little too hard. What is wrong with people? My guess? Liberal? Just saying. I like to finish off, and every week I say the same thing. Everybody knows I'm in the death pool. It went 21 days this month. It's the longest I can remember. But I was very sad about the death pool because it was Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is an American icon. Not only is he an American icon, he was a great human being. He's the last of a generation of just unbelievable entertainers. I've been listening to Tony Bennett now for the last 2 days. Great memories of Tony Bennett. He's one of the guys I wish I had a chance to see. And I'm actually thankful that Lady Gaga got him back into the spotlight. So this way, future generations could enjoy him. But you know what? Listening to his family, they all enjoyed him up to the very last day. They lived a life. They told him he loved him. He knew he was loved. So you go find your loved one. Tell him you love him. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not a given. It's not a given if you're 26 or 96 or anywhere in between. Find your loved one. Tell you love them. And when you see the insanity, just smile and laugh. Cheers, everybody. See you next week.